Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Advanced Bass Fishing, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to watch today's video and hang out with me for a little bit. And we're going to be talking about fish scents today. This is something, guys, people have been using them and making their own, and they got a lot of different opinions on it. I've got my opinions on it. So in today's video, I sort of want to let you know about my personal experiences with fish scents and what I think about them, and hopefully it'll have a good little conversation here and help you guys catch some fish down the road with it. Also, guys, before we get started, just a couple quick reminders. I just want to let you know that Tackle Warehouse has still got a bunch of their big spring fishing sales going on right now. It's a really good time to get stocked up on your tackle. I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description. If you guys can use and bookmark that link, it's a good way to support the channel. And also, guys, real quick, anyone interested in booking an on-the-water lesson with me, you can do that by going to my Facebook page, Randy Blockett Professional Angler. Just shoot me a private message for details, so appreciate that. Okay, I remember, guys, back when I was in high school, I remember laying all my plastic worms out on my mom and dad's kitchen table, and, I was gonna scent them. I was gonna put some type of garlic or anise scent, because that's back when people first started using it. And I remember my sister would come up to the worms and she'd start touching them and trying to put human scent on it to make me mad. Then how adamant I was not to get human scent on my soft plastic. So I've been messing around with this forever. And I was actually sponsored by a company called Fish Formula. I think they still have their products out there for several years. And I've used a ton of different type of scents throughout my entire career. Now, here's my personal opinion on it. From what I have seen, I do think it makes a difference. I don't know how much of a difference, but I have seen it make a difference. I don't think it's going to hurt it at all. It's like if you use fish scent, it's going to do nothing but help you. It's not going to hurt you at all. It's not going to take away any strikes. It can always benefit you to some extent. Now, to what extent that is, we don't really know, because when a bass bites a lure, you don't know a lot of times if it's because of the scent you put on it, or if it's the color of the lure, or how you're working it, or just the aggressiveness of the fish. It's just a speculation as far as what actually triggers that strike. But it only makes sense to me. It's like one of the things that make me want to use scent a lot is like guys that use live bait. There's a lot of guides down here on my home lake at Table Rock Lake that's all they do is use live bait for their customers, because they catch a lot of fish on them. The fish will bite a live minnow or a live crawdad or an earthworm 100 times better than a real bait, even though they don't look as good. The guys, there are baits that look exactly like minnows now and exactly like crawdads, and you can't hardly get a bite on them, compared to the actual real thing, the live thing. So obviously there is a scent. There's some type of an olfactory ability that bass has to pick up scent on lures that can't be denied. So therefore, anytime that you can put some type of scent on there, hopefully to trigger that fish, that's a big deal. And I don't really know why. It's like, I'm really surprised that there hasn't been some type of a company or chemist that has come up with a fish scent that bass just can't resist, because it seems like to me that's something that you could do, but they really haven't came up with it. Basically, the scent is for a masking agent, in my opinion, maybe sometimes for an attractant under the right conditions. Now, I do think that baits that you fish slow, like those baits like jigs and shaky heads and Texas rig worms and football head jigs that move slow along the bottom, I do think that that's important to have scent on them, because bass get close to those things. It's like, I've seen them guys get down on a jig, literally an inch away from the jig, or sometimes they'll put their nose on the jig and may or may not bite the thing. So if you have some scent on your lure, they're that close on a slow bait, it's only logical that it could make a difference. Now, there's only been one situation in my whole career that I was convinced it made a difference. And I was fishing a tournament down at Lake Eufaula in Alabama. And I was slow rolling a big spinnerbait, fishing it real slow on the bottom, just barely dragging along the bottom, doing really good in the tournament. I was in second or third place after the first day. I caught 20 pounds. Second day of the tournament, the first half hour I was out there, I caught 20 pounds. And my partner, back then it was a Bassmaster tournament, you drew for partners, so it was boater on boater. My partner hadn't had a bite, and he was really frustrated, and I had a good bag. I already had a good bag, so I was trying to help him out. And I gave him the spinnerbait I was throwing, the exact same spinnerbait, and he still didn't catch him. And I showed him how I was reeling it, nothing. And finally I said, man, the only thing I'm doing different is I'm putting this fish scent on. I can't even remember what company made it at the time, but I was really dousing it pretty heavy. And he said, well, I'll try it. He put some on his bait, guys, and the next cast he caught one that weighed 5 pounds, 11 ounces, and caught several more nice ones. Now, again, that's only speculation. Maybe it was the right place at the right time. Maybe it was the formula. I don't know what it was, but that sort of convinced me at the time that was a big deal. One of the things that I do like fish scents for is lubricating your fishing line, because if you're flipping, where you're putting your line and you're actually feeding it out through your hand, a lot of times that line will get really, it gets tacky and you can't let it go through your hand smooth. So sometimes I'll lubricate the fishing line or my fingertips on my left hand to make it go through a little bit easier with that. And then I do know a lot of guys that fish big swim baits and big glide baits. Some of those big bass experts like fish in California, they are adamant about putting scent on a bait. They put this concoction, they call it buttering a swim bait, like a real thick type of a scent on there, and they just butter the side of those big things. But a lot of guys have sworn by that in the past. So anyway, point of the matter is, guys, I do think it helps. I don't think it hurts any. I don't know how much it helps. If it helps your confidence, that's a big thing. So, don't hesitate to use it. But I think overall, if you do incorporate and you use fish scent on a regular basis, you're probably going to notice a little bit of an increase in the amount of bites you get. Maybe not much, but I think you're going to notice a little bit. So anyway, hope you guys are well. We'll talk later.